Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Sahana Rajan and I teach philosophy at OP Global University in India. My primary area of research is on care ethics in higher education, especially the undervaluation of faculty service. Today, I'm going to be sharing an overview of my paper titled The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Revaluing Academic Labor and Recognizing the Centrality of Carework, published in Journal of Philosophy of Education. I hope it feels meaningful to your lived experiences and look forward to hearing your thoughts on this paper. My goal in this paper is to flesh out the inseparability of care and knowledge through John Tronto's care ethics and to reveal this inseparability within two spaces, within disciplines and within higher educational institutions, HEIs. Ultimately, the change I hope such discussions could bring in the long term through shared governance in HEIs is to accord equal value for all three pillars of our academic lives: research, teaching, and service. Now, to set the context, within discourse on higher education, scholars like Green, Yon and Price, and Szymanski and Alperin have explored the relative importance of teaching, research, and service in promotion and tenure decision-making processes. While teaching is increasingly recognized through initiatives like Scholarship of Teaching and Learning, SOTL, which scholars like Boyer, Hutchins and Shulman, Potter and Castro and Felton have championed, service continues to face skepticism about its value within our educational systems. My paper enters this debate by focusing on this undervaluation of faculty service, trying to understand why it is often overlooked within traditional models of valuing academic labor. Scholars like Raybould and Corda have also highlighted this lesser role perception. The challenges of identifying, measuring, and evaluating service, especially from a care ethics perspective, have invisibilized the complex ways in which service seeps into our academic lives. This has had an unintended consequence that research and teaching metrics receive overwhelming focus for promotion and tenure, particularly for early career academics. Fairweather and Boyce have observed this trend as well. Even in institutions where research, teaching, and service appear to receive equal institutional recognition and rewards, there remains a perception that being an academic, being a part of a discipline, is foremost contributing to the discipline through one's research and then through teaching and service. This is what I call the invisible hand syndrome. We recognize the cradle of knowledge, but often fail to see the unseen hand that rocks it. This invisibility obscures the role of service, which shapes our academic lives and stems from an essentialist paradigm within academia that prioritizes the production of knowledge, often neglecting the care that sustains it. So, why is service so often overlooked? In this paper, I built upon my previous work on undervaluation of care work, where I proposed that the dominant paradigm to value academic labor is the essentialist paradigm. Broadly, essentialism says that the identity, the essence of an entity or a process is anchored to a cluster of what is called essential properties. In the context of academia, the essence of a discipline is considered to be its ability to produce specialized knowledge, that is, knowledge production. And those academic labor which contribute directly to this essence are considered to be highly valuable. This means that the production of knowledge is considered to be of the highest value. This phenomenon is also framed through paper winners model, just like breadwinners model, where an academician's worth is determined primarily through their research output, high impact publications, the winning of papers, and also research grants. This model also perpetuates the unhealthy publish or perish culture in academia. To counter this essentialist lens, I propose a shift to deflationary view of academic labor, drawing upon Tronto's ethic of care. Tronto and Fisher understand care as a species of activity that includes everything we do to maintain, continue, and repair our world so that we can live in it as well as possible. From this perspective, knowledge is not simply the final product, a journal publication, or a research grant, but is also constituted by the interconnected network of relationships and care practices that enable knowledge production and reproduction. Prestigious academic outputs depend on a strong foundation of institutional systems and a supportive environment. Efficient course scheduling, for example, ensures dedicated research time for faculty, while student well-being advisors reduce faculty workload by addressing students' personal and academic challenges. Effective mentorship programs, often led by senior researchers, directly contribute to research output by guiding junior faculty in developing research skills and navigating funding opportunities. This foundation of care work, while it's often unseen, is integral to the existence and sustenance of knowledge, similar to the role of vital research infrastructure like labs or libraries. Just as researchers require proper equipment, they also need a supportive environment nurtured by care work to reach their full research potential. The traditional essentialist lens, while it captures the grandeur and final outcomes of a discipline, it fails to adequately acknowledge these intricate and complex practical realities that underlie its existence. This then is the connection between care and knowledge. Care is the blood that flows through the body of knowledge. An academic world without peer reviewers, conference organizers, mentors, and faculty administrators would be a body with all of its organs intact, but lacking the blood that animates and sustains it. It is through the ongoing labor of academic care workers that the body of knowledge continuously produces and reproduces. This reveals the inseparability of care and knowledge within disciplinary communities. Because faculty service takes the shape of this care, which maintains, continues, and repairs our academic world, I construe service as academic care work. Now, within higher educational institutions, how do academics perform care through their faculty service? This question is set in the background of the neoliberal logic that pervades the institutional decision-making processes. Scholars like Espeland and Sauder and Hazelcorn have explored how this neoliberal logic, through managerialism, prioritizes metrics and rankings, often reducing academic excellence to a narrow, quantifiable set of metrics. This emphasis on control by numbers, as Kathleen Lynch says, can potentially sacrifice deeper, care-oriented and relational aspects of teaching, such as co-creating empathy, resilience, and critical thinking. Further, the increasing focus on performance-based funding, as some like Ortegas and Voorhees have observed, can further exacerbate these concerns, potentially leading to curriculum narrowing and a decline in faculty autonomy. In this context, academics have a unique opportunity to advocate for care. To tease out this opportunity, I developed the argument from shared paradigm. Based on the exploration of academic identity by works like those of Barnett and de Nemopoli and Kem and Teichler, I believe that academics, through their immersive history and lived experiences within academia, share a broad paradigm of values and beliefs that underpin both research and teaching. While each of us might understand or hope to implement these in different ways, there appears to be a general consensus on the importance of values such as academic freedom, rigor and integrity in pursuit of knowledge, critical thinking, and a commitment to learner-centric teaching. The shared paradigm equips us to advocate for and safeguard the relational, affective, and embodied practices at the heart of care-centered teaching and research. We are then within HEIs positioned to understand and advocate for care-centered practices in research and teaching. Our position as academic care workers allows us to critically analyze and challenge managerial practices that might prioritize strategic institutional goals over the core aims of education itself. This vision is one of shared governance in our higher educational institutions, as many such as Krellin, Campbell and Bray, Cater and Burke have advocated for. In such a shared governance model, the various stakeholders of our higher educational institutions, including faculty, administrative staff, and students, share responsibility to shape the institution. Now, while academic care workers might, quote unquote, be allowed to participate, to what extent we are heard and empowered to represent the best interests of our faculty and students within these decision-making processes depends on the institutional power dynamics, and if this definitely requires further exploration. Ultimately, my paper, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, addresses the invisibilization of academic care work and asks us to think of the interconnected network of care practices that underlie research and teaching. Further, it offers a vision of shared governance, if only an aspirational ideal, where academic care workers could be empowered to advocate for the best interests of faculty, students, and education itself. If what I shared feels meaningful to you, I warmly welcome you to read the full article on the Journal of Philosophy of Education. Also, I would love to hear your thoughts. Please do feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.